Whether you're buying a house or financing a washing machine, most people have to bend to the whims of the almighty credit score. Invented by two mathematicians in the 1950s, the credit score was envisioned as a way to standardize and impartially determine a consumer's borrowing power. With the current FICO credit scoring system being rolled out in the 1980s, credit scores have played a major part in all of our lives, for better or for worse. Let's take a look at what makes up the credit score, some pros and some cons, and what we can do to get that score where it needs to be in order to avoid awkward interactions as consumers. Next on Free Cash Flow. Here are the 5 factors that make up the credit score. Payment history, are your bills paid on time? Amounts owed or credit utilization, what percentage of your credit are you using? Length of credit history, pretty self-explanatory. New credit, how many new accounts have you opened recently? And credit mix, mortgages, credit cards, auto loans, for example. All factors are not weighted equally, however, with payment history being the most influential, followed by duration and credit mix, then total balance, and finally, recent credit activity, behavior, and inquiries. Now, believe it or not, the credit score does come with some pros and some cons. The pros being an unbiased for creditworthiness. Unlike much of the time before the widespread use of the credit score, most consumers are not subject to rely on the arbitrary views of some banker in order to finance a home. And acceptance of credit scores has made it possible for a more seamless and trustless environment. Cons associated with credit score: the system is not totally foolproof. Some actors will ignore credit score in order to reap personal benefits. An example of this was the recent credit and housing crisis that saw mortgage bankers give subprime mortgages to consumers who may have qualified for a more quality loan. Another con would be that the way that we weight the factors that make up credit score inherently requires that someone takes on a line of credit in one form or another. In fact, the system rewards you for having more than one form of credit and rewards you for having credit for longer amounts of time. What about the people who haven't needed to or wanted to borrow up to this point? How can we keep up with our credit score or even improve it? My first suggestion would be to get a credit card if you don't have one already, and if you have children, start them out as soon as possible. I got my first credit card during undergrad, and it was the Discover It student card. This taught me about financial responsibility and allowed me to stumble early and learn some valuable lessons. Check your credit score regularly. A very common myth is that checking your credit score impacts your credit score. This is false. Frequent hard inquiries impact your credit score, but not as much as some of the other factors. But it is important to keep hard inquiries as limited as possible. Free FICO credit scores are provided by most credit card companies and credit services like Credit Karma and Intuit Mint. These scores are pulled directly from one or more of the 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Checking your credit score also allows you to know which one or more of the 5 factors you need to work on. That way you can structure a plan to improve your score. Another suggestion is to pay balances in full, especially with credit cards. There's no use in carrying interest. Another myth is that it's beneficial to have a balance on your credit card. You're rewarded for low utilization, so keep utilization as low as 0 if you can. Next, try to get credit for paying simple bills on time. There are services like Experian Boost, which is free, that allow you to build credit by paying utilities and cable on time. A secured credit card is a good way to get started building credit, similar to an unsecured card in most ways, with one difference being that you're required to place a deposit, usually of about $200 in order to access a line of credit. Lastly, I would suggest becoming an authorized user on someone else's account. This will allow you to piggyback off of that other person's credit, building your own score along the way. Most credit card companies allow this for a small fee, but it's worth it for most people. Personal finance may seem like a daunting hill for most of us, with credit score being at the center of it all. Improving your credit score is very achievable if you know how to approach it. When it comes to credit score, it's important to be persistent and patient, knowing that each incremental increase is getting us one step closer to the financial freedom we all desire. This has been Free Cash Flow, and we'll see you next time.